Oh, Wicked Kiwi has a prominent place there. Hey guys, welcome to a new live session from NZ Pocket Guide. It's awesome to have you on board one more day. Today is some pretty epic International World Day, so brace yourself for International Beautician Day.
Oh.
So it's time to bring some flowers, the person in charge of your eyebrows. And it is also International, and wait for that, International Refrigeration Day. So if you haven't kissed your fridge today, it's time to give it a good old kiss and hug. For some reason, that is an international day. But to be fair, refrigeration is kind of a modern marvel. Anyway, so aside from that, we are going to be answering all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. Laura is finishing a quick morning warm-up of Tetris, a game of Tetris. Yeah. But yeah, so we're going to answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand because we cannot are the experts for traveling in New Zealand. And usually I'm asking Laura, why are we the experts? But I'm going to do it on my own today because she's too focused on she's been doing really good this morning. So we are the writers behind NZ Pocket Guide. That's the website right here. And I'm going to put it on screen right now. It is New Zealand's largest travel guide. There are thousands and thousands of articles for you to plan your trip to New Zealand. It's all free to use. So make sure to check it out. It's pretty cool. Now, during this live session, we're going to answer all your questions in the live chat. Just pop in and just ask what you want to know about traveling in New Zealand. And we'll do our best to give you the best answer possible. And if you don't have time to make it during one of our live session because it's only happening, at 8 a.m. on Sunday, NZ time, every single week, well, you can send us your questions in advance by commenting in the comment section of any of our videos. We print them, and when we have a little bit of spare time, we are answering them for you. That's pretty much it. That's all the kind of housekeeping to go over. This morning, we already have Nathan that says kia ora. It says, good morning, Laura and Robin. How are you doing this morning? So kia ora means good morning in Maori, which is a local indigenous language here in New Zealand. And how are we doing, Laura? Are you doing all right?
We're doing good. I'm doing too well at Tetris. I kind of feel like I'm at the point now where I can't stop. But maybe I really should. I mean, we need to get our priorities straight.
I mean, it's Tetris 99, right? So you have 100 players. 99 players that compete together. She's at number 19 right now. I think it's not worth it for her to give up right now. She can finish. Cool. So let me catch you up on what has been happening in the COVID world of New Zealand at the moment and a little bit about border restrictions and all that. So Australia has had a little bit of an outbreak over there with the Delta variant of the virus in New South Wales. And there is a man from Sydney which came and traveled to New Zealand, especially in the region of Wellington. So he went to spend a weekend in Wellington, and he has deemed to be a close contact. Then afterwards, obviously, he tested positive, otherwise I wouldn't make the news story. But so he has deemed to be a close contact of 1,200 people. So obviously, this triggered an alert level 2 increase in the Wellington area. So now the entire country of New Zealand is at alert level 1, and Wellington is at alert level 2. 1,400 of his contacts have tested negative right now. So it looks like we may have this under control and we may be able to go back to normal after that. However, due to the increase of cases in Australia, the New Zealand government, we are not in charge of anything, but the New Zealand government has decided to to re-establish the border restrictions between New Zealand and Australia. So from now, every travel between New Zealand and Australia is back to quarantine requirements. So you may want to be aware of that. And that also gives us a really good insight into how fluid the situation is going to be during COVID, for the foreseeable future. We try our best to kind of give you some expectations of when the border will be opening, but things are changing so fast. We had quarantine-free travel between New Zealand and Australia already, and it has already been, backtracked due to that one person coming to travel. So we will have to kind of wait until New Zealand has a very high rate of vaccination for the population in order to have a very decent outlook on when will the border open. And that is going to be very slow and very gradual. As mentioned many times, we do have a video on the channel of our border opening predictions, and we will update that within the next month with some more information for you guys, so stay tuned. All right, that's all the boring kind of stuff out of the way, I think. But if you do have any follow-up questions, guys, go ahead in the live chat. We have Anu Rumbu Daniel, which says, when New Zealand visa will start again? Well, basically when the border will open. New Zealand immigration is not going to issue visa to people that wouldn't be able to get it to New Zealand and therefore fulfill the conditions of their visa. Because most of the time, the visa that you get issued, it says like you have to enter New Zealand within the next 2 months, within the next 12 months or something like that. Since there is no way to know when you will be able to come to New Zealand immigration is not going to issue you any visa. So the only work that New Zealand immigration is currently doing is to actually process visas of people which are currently in New Zealand. So that's someone which would be in a work visa becoming resident, or that's someone which is in a work visa and get an extension because they literally just cannot get home. So that's what New Zealand immigration is doing right now. For now, the only thing that we can tell you is that you just have to wait and see. It's kind of like it's a patience game.
Absolutely.
What is Asian saying?
Okay, he says, good morning, Laura and Robin, with, of course, a lovely emoji to go on the end from our resident emoji guy. And then we have Clay Bryant, who is trying to outdo emoji guy with lots more
He's not emoji guy. Ishan is not emoji guy.
Oh, no. I thought you were about to say he was.
No, yeah, I misspoke.
Okay.
That's why I correct myself.
Oh, my bad. So, but Clay Bryant is trying to be our new emoji guy with I'm guessing hello from freezing Dunedin.
Yeah, how cold is in Dunedin? So if you guys don't know, if you are on the other hemisphere, in New Zealand right now, it is winter. So for this reason, it gets pretty cold.
Yeah,
and
pretty rainy.
And pretty rainy, yeah. Donut Boy is asking, hello, is that a new mic? No, it's actually the same mic that we always had. Maybe the camera is placed a little bit differently, so you see it better, but we've been using the same mic since we started. Yeah, since we started this live stuff actually. So that's 100. I think it's 136. That's 136 weeks that we've been using that mic. So I don't think it's considered new anymore. Baby Burns NZ or Baby Burns. I just can never pronounce that in a kind of a decent way. But Baby Burns says, "Hi again. How are you doing today?" All right, cool. So, while you guys getting warmed up with some questions, there's 15 of you guys. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a ton of questions. We're gonna go over some of the questions that we received throughout the week. Do you want to do the top ones?
This one?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna read it and you can answer it.
All right.
All right, guys. So we have Isabel Anderson that says, "How are the vegan options in New Zealand?" Short question.
Yeah.
All right, Laura, how are the vegan options in New Zealand? When you eat out, when you shop in supermarket, all that. Tell us more about being vegan when traveling around New Zealand.
Okay, well, compared to being vegetarian in New Zealand or gluten-free, vegan is a little bit more of a challenge in New Zealand in terms of finding places to eat out where there's lots of vegan options. You're mostly going to find that sort of thing and those sort of vegan restaurants only in New Zealand's largest cities. So when you're going out into the sticks or going to those sort of
out into the sticks, interesting sentence.
Into those there's a lot of really amazing sort of natural landscapes around New Zealand, which are often a little off the beaten track, but in those sort of places, in those small towns, it might be harder to find vegan options. And so when you're looking for sort of places to eat out there, it's best to sort of treat yourself in some of the larger cities. So the best cities to go and experience vegan food in New Zealand consist of Auckland, of course, because Auckland is the largest city in New Zealand and has the largest population. Therefore, they have quite a diverse population where there are quite a few vegan restaurants and stuff, and specialty dietary restaurants as well. So you have lots of options in Auckland. Tauranga is another good place to go and find some vegan options as well. There's Hamilton, Rotorua, and Wellington. So all those cities are in the North Island. And then if you're on the South Island and you want to eat out at vegan restaurants, then the best places to go to are Christchurch, Dunedin, and Queenstown. That's where you're going to definitely want to treat yourself and eat out and find more vegan restaurants in those cities. But as I say, in smaller towns where there's only maybe a couple of cafes or like the odd restaurant available, then you are likely to have a much tougher time to find what you're looking for. So in those situations where you are, not in one of those cities basically that I just described, then it's sort of better to do self-catering, stay in some accommodation where you have access to kitchen facilities so that you can get exactly what you want. And a good thing about New Zealand supermarkets is that there's a lot available. It's not going to be as much as like maybe in the US or in Europe, but there's definitely enough choice to find vegan options in your average supermarket in New Zealand. So it's always good to sort of, when you're traveling around, to stock up on some supplies at supermarkets and then book yourself into self-catering accommodation, just to make sure that you have that backup if you find yourself somewhere where you can't really find much vegan options. So yeah, like I say, in New Zealand, they're a lot more friendly to people that are, on vegetarian diets and gluten-free diets. On menus, you will see that they're often, it's almost a standard in New Zealand now, where they put the little symbols for V is vegetarian and GF is for gluten-free, but vegan is still not quite as popular enough for that often to be like a standard thing on menus. But you will be pleasantly surprised in some places. You might find like the odd cafe that does cater to that. But yeah, like I say, stick to, when you're wanting to eat out, best to head to the sort of most populated cities, what I just described. I couldn't say them again if you want me to, just to remind you guys. So it's Auckland, Tauranga, Hamilton, Rotorua, Wellington, Christchurch, Dunedin, and Queenstown.
Okay, and so I know obviously vegan and vegetarians have different needs, but we do have an article on NZ Pocket Guide which may give you a little bit of an insight about what is available in New Zealand. And it's the Vegetarian Travel Guide to New Zealand. So in there you will have some travel tips if you're vegetarian, as well as an understanding about what you can expect from your flight, your supermarket, as well as what you will have in accommodation and eating out. So there's going to be a lot of information for you, pointing you out in the right direction on nzpocketguide.com. So you may want to check this one out as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that you find this video useful. If you did, make sure to hit like, and if you do want more videos like this one, hit subscribe as well. We do a lot of video about traveling in New Zealand. We cover pretty much every subject that there is. Look, even like this one, pretty much every subject about traveling in New Zealand.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go back to the live chat. We have
Donut Boy says perfect.
Well,
then we have Baby Bones that says, Does Invercargill is the coldest city in New Zealand during winter? Although Invercargill is the southernmost city in New Zealand, you can definitely see why you would think that is the coldest city. But there are places, well, they're not really classed as cities, but there are sort of large towns that are higher in altitude than Invercargill, so they would be actually classed a bit colder. For instance, Queenstown, it's a large town. It's not really classed as a city, but some people do class it as a city. So
it's colder, yeah.
So that would actually probably be more classed as colder.
I'd say I actually think because Invercargill is closer to the Fjord National Park, I think it's the rainiest. The rainiest area or one of the rainiest kind of like cities in winter, if I was to say. Also, you can ask Clay in the live chat. He's from Dunedin, and right now he's currently freezing, so he may argue against that. And there is some towns which have, like, for example, Nelson usually is the town with the highest amount of sun hours in the year and everything like that. And I think there's a town called Ophir, which usually is kind of the town that get the coldest climate in New Zealand, but it's a tiny settlement. It doesn't really count. So yeah, that's usually what you will
and
what you would think.
Ophir is actually, that's maybe like just under 2 hours from Queenstown. It's near the town of Alexandra, so that's sort of in the same sort of similar climate zone to those sort of central Otago areas.
Well, here you go. We have Clay that says that I think he thinks that Ophir is the coldest, or is it Naseby? It's Naseby, not nasty, and you forgot an E. Naseby. Naseby. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Naseby.
Naseby, yeah. Naseby.
I think so.
Cool. So yeah, so there are some towns that are supposed to be the coldest, but they're just little towns. If I was to say like one of the kind of harshest climate in winter for a city in New Zealand, I will say that Invercargill is up there.
Yeah. Also, a thing about Naseby is that it does get that cold there, that they do have outdoor ice rinks that are sort of like natural, like basically a lake that freezes over, and they turn it into an ice rink. We actually do have a video on this channel of us visiting Naseby.
Yes, we did curling in Naseby. I mean, did you know you could do curling in New Zealand? So we did curling in Naseby.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so I hope that answered your question, Baby Burns. I mean, as usual, we answer questions way too much in depth. We have Christian Martinez Vega that says, hello, guys. Hello, Christian. How are you doing today? Are you having a wonderful day? Oh, in the news, guys, I forgot to tell you that in the news section at the beginning of the video, tomorrow we're getting our COVID-19 vaccine shot number 1.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, here you go. That's
Things
pretty,
are slowly starting to
that's
happen
pretty exciting
in
for
New
us.
Zealand.
We're really stoked about it. The problem is that I do have a little bit of a cold at the moment, so that kind of sucks a little bit just before going to get a vaccine, but it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Do you want to read what Anthony says?
Okay, Anthony says, Morena from Rodeo, California. So for you guys that don't know, Morena means good morning in Te Reo Maori, which is the local language of New Zealand.
Adil says, Kia ora, Robin and Laura. May I ask a question about the Oucha product that were reviewed yesterday on the channel? Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. What you want to know about the Oucha products? They're kind of fun. I don't know if you guys saw that video over there, but we went by a lake in the forest over there, and we went to try some products that were basically a heated product for when you camp around. So it kept us quite warm during a very chilly day. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but during the video, I put the temperature that it is. Man, it was cold. It's not as cold as what Kiwi Lauren's going to say in Canada, but it was really cold for us.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kiwi Lauren, she says she's just playing at the splash park to beat the heat today. She says she'll try to tune in when you're done if you're still here, but she wanted to say hi.
Hi, thanks for popping in.
Yeah, Whitbig says hi as well.
Of course.
Emoji guy is here and say, just came to say hi and like the live stream. I need to go later, guys and girls. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Thank you for all the emojis. Donut Boy says, big love of the new NZ Pocket Guy theme. Oh, talking about the site? Yeah, it does look much fresher than before, doesn't it? It did need a good refresh, and I think now it's like kind of sleek and nicer. But yeah, thanks for the approval. The vote of approval. I appreciate that. It's always good to kind of hear that you guys like what we do. Sometimes you do something and it's kind of like you never really know if it is kind of good or not. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. Also, constructive feedback. If you have something that you think we should improve, go ahead. It's always really good too. Donut Boy says, last time I searched on Google, the result was Ophir, the coldest town. Yeah, here you go. So yeah, that's why I was thinking. I think it's Ophir that usually gets the coldest climate. Weirdly enough, they don't advertise that as much as Nelson advertised the fact that they have the highest amount of sun hours. I don't know why.
Come to the coldest town in New Zealand.
Nice one. Donut Boy, you're the best. Thank you very much for the hot dog emojis and the donation. What is this currency, MYR? I'm very intrigued.
I'm not sure.
Is it Malaysian maybe? Can you enlighten us? We are not aware of that currency.
Yeah.
I love how we travel sometimes with you guys and we just learn
through the
new
live
things.
chat.
Yes. Oh, you're the best. So yeah, Donut Boy says congratulations with a lot of clapping. I love it. You're the best, mate. Okay, we have Baby Burn that says, I have a question / challenge for you guys. Okay, I don't know if I'm up for a challenge. As I said, I'm sick right now, but let's go. Some of us are night owls, right? And I found that New Zealand is not really friendly to the nightlife when I'm here. Do you have any recommendation of night activities? Yes, we do actually. So Laura, do you want to give a couple? I'm gonna actually find you something on the site.
Yeah, so we do have an article on NZ Pocket Guide, which gives you some ideas of things you can do at night in New Zealand.
So we did hide it in city activities, I think, and then nightlife right here. City activities, nightlife.
So, I mean, when you say night owl, I don't know if you're talking like, 12 a.m. or 4 a.m., like going into the early hours of the morning, or just going to about 9 p.m. But a couple of ideas. First of all, you can do some amazing stargazing in New Zealand, which is best done sort of around midnight. New Zealand has a couple of sort of dark sky reserves. So there's a dark sky reserve in Mount Cook, in the Mount Cook area of the South Island. And also Stewart Island, which is an island just off the south coast of the South Island, is actually a dark sky sanctuary. So that basically means that those areas have been approved by the Dark Sky Association for being a place where they protect the night sky from light pollution, and it basically means it's one of the best places in the world to do stargazing. And they have observatory tours in those areas and sort of stargazing tours as well, so you can really make the most of it.
Yeah, another great thing to do is to go and look for some kiwi birds. All right, so let's go back to the site right here, and I'll get back to the kiwi bird in a second. So if you go on activities, then city activities, and then nightlife. And you got plenty of articles like the best bars in Auckland and you know, all the guides to nightlife and everything. But one of the top articles is the 13 things to do in New Zealand after dark. And there you're going to have plenty of awesome things. Now, going back to, you know, campfire, it's a lot of outdoor stuff. Look at us enjoying stargazing. Yeah. So one of the actually cool thing in New Zealand is that the kiwi birds are actually nocturnal birds, and so they usually rummage around the New Zealand forests at night. So if you do a hike at night with a red torchlight, not a bright torchlight because you're going to scare them, in areas of New Zealand where you do have kiwi birds, and they're usually well labeled, or we do also have them listed on NZ Pocket Guide, then you could be able to spot a kiwi bird, which is quite cool. Yeah,
so for instance, in Stewart Island, they have kiwi bird spotting tours. They have some in the Trouncen Kauri Park, which is, there's a Kauri top 10 holiday park in the Northland region of New Zealand, and they offer kiwi bird sort of night spotting tours through that holiday park as well. So there's some other pretty cool and unique things to do in New Zealand at night.
So other things to do. I'm going to go really quickly for you. You can spot some glowworms. They are not just glowworm caves. They are also glowworm dells or glowworm areas where it's literally just on the side of a walk, which is quite cool. Night skiing, wildlife spotting. I was talking about this kiwi bird right here. Look at us spotting a kiwi bird. You have some really awesome night hot pools. There's obviously pub crawl. Internet browsing. Sometimes we have to stretch a little bit the ideas that we have for you guys. But there is night fishing. Look at Laura trying to catch something. On that day, spoiler alert, she got nothing. Just saying. There's a lot of really cool gigs in New Zealand. The art scene is really cool, especially if you're around the town of like Wellington, for instance. There's a ton of really cool gigs. And there's also night bungee that's available.
That's only available in summer or winter.
In winter only.
In winter.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's some information for you, baby burns. I hope that that answers. You know, that's a lot of ideas.
A lot of different sort of New Zealandy type stuff. Yeah.
Clay says Dunedin is just the same miserable weather all year. 100-point score for consistency. Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, you know, obviously Clay does not work for the tourism board of Dunedin, as you can tell. He doesn't have the sales pitch ready yet, but you know. And Baby Burn says he or she will try to visit Ophir next time. That's a cool idea.
They have some really nice sort of historical
Try to go to Naseby as well. Try to go do some curling.
Yeah,
it's so random to do.
Really
so
off
cool.
the beaten track is Naseby. But yeah, we do have videos on this channel of us actually visiting Ophir as well. It has a historic post office and a really interesting bridge to ride over in your car and stuff like that. So it's just like an old sort of gold mining settlement, but it looks really pretty and quite unusual compared to other towns in New Zealand. So it's a really nice place to stop by as you're driving in that area. So
if you want to find that video, Baby Burns, you type Ophir and then NZ Pocket Guide on YouTube and you'll find a video of us checking it out. Nathan, Donut Boy says congratulations again. So I love it. Oh no, I read it again.
Before,
All your, just so you know, Donut Boy, since you gave us a donation, all your comments are like really big. So sometimes I just see them multiple times, which is kind of awesome. Nathan says, well done for getting your first vaccine when you get it. Awesome. We'll talk to you guys about it next week, once we've done the first one. So yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Christian says, how fast is New Zealand at getting vaccinated? Do you think they will open the border soon after everyone is vaccinated? Any news regards to opening? Christian, I just talked about that at the beginning of the video, so you may want to rewind the video and I literally give a whole spiel about it. When it comes to how fast is New Zealand getting vaccinated, we are actually one of the slowest westernized country into getting down to the vaccination. So right now it is very, very slow. So we don't expect to reach a herd immunity of like 80 or 90% until at least the end of the year, if not a little bit later. So let's keep our fingers crossed to be able to, that we'll be able to move things along a little bit faster. But so far it's been pretty slow. But hopefully we'll be able to kind of tell you guys we were wrong in a couple of months and say everybody's vaccinated now and the borders are opening, but not really just the case. But if you want to rewind the video, I'm talking about that at the beginning. after I talk about International Refrigeration Day, because, obviously...
Don't rewind all the way to the beginning, or else you
have
just
your
get
fridge, it's worth it.
beginning nonsense.
So if you guys were not here at the beginning, actually, the two I started with live session with like kind of what's the International Day today, and today is International Beautician Day and International Refrigeration Day. Yeah. So it was a bit of a tough sell right here. So I just said, hug your fridge, and that's basically it. Okay, so Robert Laliberti, I think there's going to be some sass in the comments. I'm expecting now, when I see that name, I'm expecting extreme sass in the comments. So guys, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know what he's going to say. But he say, I saw the outshare thing. Just curious about the background. Do the leaves stay on the trees all year round, or do they change colors? Oh, that's quite interesting. So yeah, so we did shoot that literally last week. And it is winter in New Zealand. So a lot of the trees in New Zealand are perennials, meaning that they keep their kind of foliage and they keep their greenery all year round. And usually it's mostly what I've found, right? It's mostly imported trees, such as like oak tree and all that, which actually are losing their leaves during summer. And also a lot of the fruit trees, obviously, but most of those were actually imported as well. But the native forest of New Zealand, they don't tend to change color too much. They tend to really stay green and nice deep greenery all year round. So yeah, or maybe that's just me lying to you, and we shot that in summer. But no, it's not the case.
No, but a lot of the autumn photos that you see from New Zealand, for instance, there's a lot of famous autumn photos from Arrowtown and like Wanaka, Queenstown area. Like those towns have been sort of, like their native forest has been cleared, and basically when when humans came and settled here, there was a lot of sort of English settlers that were kind of missing home. So they decided to plant sort of trees from back home there. And then actually now those towns are sort of populated with like exotic trees, which obviously follow the same pattern of the leaves falling as they do in autumn in the northern hemisphere. So that's why you get sort of really different landscapes and different photos like that from New Zealand. But yeah, the native trees are, in fact, green all year round.
Mark Lockwood says, hello from the UK. I love your channel. Hey, Mark. Hello. How are you doing? Donut Boy says, yes, MYR is Ringgit Malaysian. Oh. We were correct. He says, did you see MYR too? I thought it automatically converted to dollars. No, it doesn't. So it never does. So sometimes some people, we get donation like once in the blue moon, right? Like that's probably our first or second donation of the year, right? No, we had Charlie that gave us a donation this year. So here you go. You see, I can't even name people that gave us donation. But yeah, so he always gives us like the currency. So it's kind of interesting. Sometimes you just you get something completely random that appears on screen. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Baby Burn says, thank you very much, Robin and Laura. Great as always. You're very welcome. Anthony Comstock says, responsible. But the vaccine. Yes, we've been really responsible. And New Zealand is being really responsible. Okay, so Adil is asking about the outshare. He says, what is the maximum setting of the outshare product? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about the temperature, like the height? It doesn't really, so you have three settings, right? You have like hot, medium, or
mild.
Yeah, here you go. So you have that. But it really depends, because it's kind of like it's kind of infrared heating, so it really depends like how you react to it and everything. So the longest you sit, like the hotter you're gonna get. So you kind of changing the long. So you don't really set it with temperature. It's literally just setting 1, 2, or 3. That is it.
Yeah.
So you don't have like, okay, I want my butt to be 42 degrees. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, it's definitely on the super hot one. It's definitely warm enough. I had it at the number 1 or number 2 at all times, so you definitely will be able to be quite warm with it.
It's nice to just set it onto maximum heat for when you first put it on, and it heats it up really nice and high. But then, after you use it for a while, you do find yourself wanting to turn it down a bit, because they work pretty well.
Yeah. Cool. Then we have Clay that says, I just sent a screenshot of some picture I got from exactly a year ago at the Omakau and Ophir when there was a massive frost. So I'm gonna find out for you while Laura is reading what Baby Burn's saying. Yeah.
So Baby Burn says, oh yeah, one again. I know it's totally random, but can you increase the chance to see aurora there in the coldest and darkest area maybe, or need to be near the coast? I heard the Catlins got the best odds. So interestingly, it is good to be on the coast because also in Dunedin, it's a really good place. And on the Otago Peninsula, there's a lot of really good photos that come out from that area of the Aurora Australis. And for those of you that don't know, that's basically like the southern lights. So it's like polar sort of colors that come up in the sky when there's sort of specific polar flares and all this sort of thing happening, or solar flares on the polar, I don't know, very sciencey stuff. We do have an article on nzpocketguide.com which will tell you all about it. But yeah, basically, you might have heard of the Northern Lights. So you probably see a lot of pictures coming from places like Norway of the Northern Lights. But yeah, there is the southern equivalent to that, which you can see from New Zealand, called Aurora Australis. So while the coast is also good, it's also really good to actually get quite high ground and go into sort of mountainous regions to see the Southern Lights. Usually, obviously, when there are certain conditions, it has to be a clear night. Typically best seen in winter, typically best seen around, midnight when the skies are at their darkest, for instance. So yeah, there's a lot of conditions to see it really well, but you don't necessarily have to go to the coast. You can get, high ground onto mountainous areas as well.
Okay, so if you guys want to see the picture from Clay, what he was sending us, they're actually really nice. I'm just going to try to show you guys this. So yeah, quite nice pictures right here from Clay. So pretty awesome. So yeah, it can get quite cold in New Zealand indeed. Justin Halen is asking, is the person on the right a transgender? Oh, that's me. Well, that's really nice. You're complimenting my complexion and my beautiful chiseled features. Yeah,
feminine features.
I think that's very nice to ask. But no, I am not. I was born a boy and I remain a boy. But yeah, thank you very much for noticing that I'm very pretty. Because I too agree. I am very pretty. I can't pronounce that. I cannot say that nickname, but I cannot say what he says. So, it wasn't rude. Some people have the right to ask questions. It's absolutely okay. Extreme Talota says Morena. Morena means good morning, Maori, the local indigenous language, which is quite cool. Clay says, we have a family get together in Greymouth in a couple of weeks. Much else to do other than pancake rocks. Not very touristy from at least what we can see. It was more of a hub. So a couple of recommendations for family activities in Greymouth?
There's Shantytown, which is like a heritage park. So that's always like a really good thing to go and do with the kids. There's lots of different activities there, like gold panning or taking, I think they do a little bit of a train ride through the forest and that sort of thing. So that's one option. Another really cool option is a company called On Your Bike. So they do off-roading tracks. They do self-drive quad biking and sort of four-wheel drive buggies and that sort of thing. But when you're with kids, they have sort of self-drive buggies where you can have like an extra seat for your child, and then you're the one driving, for instance.
So just to show you, if you just type Greymouth and family right here, you will be able to find the best family accommodation in Greymouth on NZ Pocket Guide. You also have right here, you have the travel guide to Greymouth for families, and you even have 10 things to do with kids in Greymouth. So have that on screen while Laura keep giving you some ideas.
Yeah. So other ideas, let me just think quickly. You can there's lots of really nice short walks around Greymouth. For instance, I think it's Cold Creek Falls. Maybe Robin will find it up on there, but there's a short waterfall walk. Who doesn't like to go see a nice waterfall? And in summer, it has a really nice sort of swimming area if you want to go for a swim. There's a few easy places to drive to from Greymouth. For instance, you're a quick drive away from the Punakaiki Pancake Rocks. So that's just a quick drive up north to go and do. It's officially about a 20-minute loop walk, but it's more like 10 minutes to actually walk. And it's also buggy friendly or stroller friendly to go and see the beautiful formations of the Pancake Rocks. So yeah, anything else that you could think of, Robin?
No, I showed them on screen already.
Okay, so you guys saw it on screen, and you can always check nzpocketguide.com for our things to do in Greymouth with kids.
Nice. Is New Zealand gonna be open for American travelers anytime soon, Laura?
So like we said at the beginning of this live session, the borders are still closed to international travelers. So there's been no official updates of when they're going to open to the wider population of international travelers. There's only a set amount of people that can come to New Zealand. But Robin's going to put on the screen right now where you can watch a more lengthier video of us answering this question in our New Zealand border predictions video. You can find it here on YouTube, and we sort of answer that question with more detail, giving you more context. And yeah, giving you more of a scope of when we reckon that the borders will open for international travellers to New Zealand. But as Robin said at the beginning of the video, things are changing all the time. The borders were open quarantine-free to Australia, but that's just stopped for the time being, for instance, because there has been a few more outbreaks in Australia. So things are changing all the time, but right now, no new updates of when the borders will open and to US citizens.
Nathan has quite a wide question for you.
Okay.
Clay is cracking up, by the way. But Nathan has quite a wide question for you, and he says, Nathan says, what is the best activities to do on the Northland in July holiday for 4 people?
Oh, interesting.
July. I mean, there is going to be. Are the ski fields going to be open in July? Are they going to be open?
That's when they start opening.
I think you could get away especially if you end of July, right? Like if you go too early in July, you may not have fun, but you could enjoy a good time in Ruapehu, which is the volcano right in the center of the Northland. And there is a big ski field. Actually, there is the largest ski field in the country there, and it's a great fun times over there. However, it's a little bit more of an expensive holiday. If you want to escape the cold, you may want to retreat all the way to Northland and do a couple of things near Pahia.
Yeah, so Northland, which is the sort of region just above Auckland, that's kind of has the nickname of being the winterless north because it does experience a subtropical climate. So in winter, it actually is often a lot drier up there, but the temperatures are nowhere near as cold as what you would experience, for instance, in the South Island or in the Central North Island. So if you want to experience more days with probably some nicer weather, then it's always good to go up north. And a really popular place and a town to go to is Paihia, which is in the Bay of Islands. And there you can do different types of cruises. You can go sailing. You can see the Hole in the Rock, which is one of the many islands in the Bay of Islands. The Bay of Islands has about 144 islands. So when you're doing a cruise there,
visit them all. You're there for a year.
So when you do a cruise there, there's always a lot to see. And often you'll see also the seals are there during winter, which they're not often there during summer, for instance. So it gives you an opportunity to see that sort of wildlife on the North Island while you're traveling around.
Clay is suggesting, he says, isn't there a fake ski field in a building somewhere?
Yes, there is. Snow Planet, which is in Auckland, or in one of the northern suburbs of Auckland.
So it's not the best way, again, to describe it. Again, great, part of the tourism board. Clay brings you the Clay Guide to New Zealand.
So
it's cold over there. It's rainy here all the time.
If you want to go to an indoor place to ski, then that is available in Auckland. But definitely would recommend going to like an actual ski field over going to there. But if you do want to get some lessons before heading up to the ski fields, then that's a good way to go and get some.
That's really good. We actually have some friends which are going to go skiing for the first time in the South Island this year. And what they plan on doing, they're staying in Auckland. What they plan on doing, they go with their mates and they're going to take a half-a-day lesson in Snow Planet over there in Auckland in order to just be a little bit more confident on the ski slopes for when they go down to the South Island. So it's kind of a really good way to approach that if that is of interest. But that's fantastic things to do there. If you also, another way to kind of escape the cold will be to take a trip to Rotorua. There's really a lot to do in Rotorua. There is some great places which are indoor with amazing activities. Because in July, basically, one of the things, and you know that, Nathan, you're from Taupo, so you actually do know how rainy the weather can be. Well, the weather can be super changeable. So you want places where you go to travel where you do have both options. And Rotorua would have great indoor options such as motion entertainment and other such places. But on top of that, you could head to all the hot pools and all the geothermal parks. So what I do like about the geothermal park in July or basically in winter is that even if it's a little bit drizzly, which it does happen quite often, you just put a rain jacket and you go, you're good. You're not made of sugar, are you? So you can go there, but everything, because it's cold, gets way more steamy and everything. So it makes it look even better. So all the geothermal features of Rotorua are even better in winter, in my personal opinion. On top of that, in Rotorua, you really have a lot of hot pools. And so that's fantastic to do in winter. I mean, Laura literally was in a natural hot pools last night with her friends.
It was very nice. It
so,
felt
yeah.
so good. Yeah.
So hot pools are really cool when it gets really cold, because you have your head really cold and you warm up. It's really nice. So Rotorua is a great place to do that. You get a fantastic geothermal park. You get great indoor activities. You can check out some kiwi birds if you want to. You can go to Motion Entertainment and do some bowling and some escape rooms and some mini golf and some trampolines and some laser tag and sort of stuff if you're really kind of stuck for options. And on top of that, you also have the hot pool. So you get all that. So I think that's another good option. So I think that's 3 options. You get skiing, you get Rotorua, and you get Pahia. I think that's 3 cool family options, Nathan, for you. If you do have any follow-up, obviously, go ahead. And if you want to know more about one of those 3 options, also if you want to tell us which one you prefer out of those 3, we'd love to know. All right, cool. Also, guys, if you do find that useful, like and subscribe. Be cool. There's not that many people watching today, which is it's kind of more of an intimate live stream right now. We only have like 11 people. It's quite cool.
It's exclusive.
Yeah, it's exclusive, guys. That's about a third of what we usually have, kind of. Well, maybe a half or a third watching. What do we have? We have Clay giving some thumbs up and apologizing for his skills as a tourism board of Dunedin. Hey, it's all good, mates. That's not your job. Donut Boy says, I miss the New Zealand fish and chips so much. They are really good.
Yeah.
Well, they're so good, Laura.
Well, they're so good because there's a lot of keen fisher folk in New Zealand that like to get fresh fish. Basically, there's a lot of coastline in New Zealand. There's a lot of access to fishing, and so often when you do have fish and chips in New Zealand, you are getting the really fresh stuff. Compared to like in other places in the world, because fish and chips is pretty popular where I originally come from, like in the UK, but it's never usually as fresh as you get it in New Zealand. Yeah. So it's definitely, New Zealand is one of the best places in the world to get yourself fish and chips.
Much more than once we got fish and chips and it was literally caught on the day. I mean, it's just so cool. Yeah. We have a neighbor here that literally fishes, I'd say at least 3 times a week. Would it be fair to say that?
Yeah.
Like literally, they're really, really, really into fishing here. So the fish and chips are really, really, really fresh, which is quite awesome.
Mm-hmm. So we got past Clay.
And Nathan. Yeah, sorry. Oh, I got completely lost. Nathan says, thanks for the ideas. Very good advice for planning a trip. I like all the options you suggested.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's nice. And we do have more, obviously, options and info on nzpocketguide.com. Oh, here you go. Boom. And yeah, here you go. I'm not going to press because that's not the right thing. Donut Boy is talking to you, Laura.
Saying, Laura is from the UK. Thumbs up. Yes, I am. I don't know. Maybe you couldn't tell from my accent, but I am originally from the UK. From the north of England.
You're slowly losing your accent, don't you?
Do you think I am?
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting used to it, but I think you're slowly losing your accent. Do you think Laura has a strong accent from the UK? Tell us in the comment. I should do a poll. I forgot to do a poll. It's been a long time. I've done a poll, almost a week.
So if you guys didn't join us for our last live session, we only just discovered the poll feature on the live chat, which I think Robin is about to show you guys right now. So yeah, last week we had many polls going on during our live session, and it's about to happen again. So Robin is asking a very important question in the poll right now, which he will put up. And you guys let us know. Who doesn't love a good poll?
Yeah, I mean, polls are fun.
Clay Bryant is keen. He's saying poll with a laughing emoji. So people are keen, Robin.
Yeah, that's coming.
Don't make the people wait.
Well, I don't know how things work, but yeah, okay. On a scale of 1 to 4, how do you rate New Zealand fish chips? Here you go. Go for the. Did I mess up? How is the poll working? Is the poll not working? Oh my God.
We're such newbies when it comes to the poll. In the meantime, we'll read some more comments.
No, the poll is there. The poll is there, guys. Okay, how do you rate New Zealand fish and chip on a scale of 1 to 4? I can only put 4 options, so I wanted to go for scale of 1 to 5, but that didn't work. So anyway, go ahead and vote, people. 1 to 4.
4 being the highest.
Yeah, 4 is the best.
The lowest.
1 is the lowest. Yes. So yeah, 1 bad score. No, bad reviews on the.
TripAdvisor.
No, where did you rate restaurants already? What's the stuff to rate?
Michelin star?
No.
TripAdvisor?
No.
AA? No. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Oh my God, yes, I completely forgot. Where do you rate restaurants? Yelp. Here you go. If you want to give a bad Yelp review, you press 1. Otherwise,
so that's the company you want to push today.
Yelp? I don't want to push them. That doesn't matter. Okay, here you go. Where are we? Adil says, yes, I was referring to the temperature setting of the product. Thank you very much for your answer. You're very welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, it's not a set temperature, but it's pretty good. Did you guys watch the Oucher stuff? Donut Boy says, what about Robin?
So he's referring to, where are you from?
Oh, yeah. Where am I from? So I was born in France. I worked and traveled in quite a bunch of different countries. And then I arrived in New Zealand about 11 years ago. So yeah, here you go. But originally born in France, can't shake the accent off. There's some selected accents in life that you're never going to shake off. And I think the French accent is unshakable. So that's why I have this funny sounding accent to me. But yeah, I'm Kiwi now. We both are Kiwis now. But yeah. New Zealand is based on immigration, so you'll find a lot of people from many different parts of the world, a lot of them from the UK, living in New Zealand. Clay is excited about the poll. Donut Boy says, sincerely thought you guys are Kiwis.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, to be fair,
we do talk a lot about New Zealand.
Yeah, we do talk a lot about New Zealand, and we did really embrace New Zealand as soon as we kind of lived here. Now we've traveled. Pretty much any Kiwis that we met, we traveled more than them within New Zealand, because the grass is always greener. The neighbor's grass is always greenner, so you kind of always want to go and travel outside of your own country, and you don't necessarily explore your own country. To be fair, Kiwis are quite good at exploring their own country, but we tend to be like, oh my gosh, we're in New Zealand, and we want to do everything, and that's why we started this travel guide.
Yeah.
Géraldine Sautelet says, hello, Kia ora, bonjour de Belgique. So she's from Belgium, and she say hi. You forgot the Flemish part of Belgium. You forgot one of your greetings right here. So yeah, that's a lot of them. She says, we always are dreaming about our future future travel in New Zealand. What do you think about traveling between October and November in the north of New Zealand?
Well, I think that is a very good time to travel in the North Island of New Zealand. So in terms of the season, October and November is in spring. And that tends to be, November is the month just before summer. So summer in New Zealand is typically very busy with people traveling around. People always want to travel around when the weather is meant to be at its best. But actually, if you want to travel around while the weather's pretty decent, usually, just a thing about the weather in New Zealand, it is very changeable. So you can have 4 seasons in one day is like a common saying in New Zealand. So just to make sure that it's, I'm not misleading you by saying it's going to be decent weather means that it's going to be sunny all the time. The temperatures will be at a comfortable level, but obviously when you're traveling around, you still need to be prepared with the correct clothing and all that. Make sure you take a rain jacket out with you, for instance. So it's usually October and November's decent weather, but you're sort of avoiding the crowds of summer. So absolutely, I couldn't think of a better time to travel the North Island.
People are really enjoying fish and chips in New Zealand. We have 20% of people that says it's a 3 out of 4, and 80% of people says 4 out of 4. Here you go. So yeah, Geraldine, November. If I had to pick a month to travel New Zealand, I would pick like October, like as early as you can, because like that you avoid the crowd and things are a little bit cheaper. But it's fantastic time of the year to travel in New Zealand. We talked about those kind of things quite often on the channel. And in fact, on the channel, we do have a whole video about the weather in New Zealand in October. So you may want to check this one out. So you have a bit more of an understanding about basically what the weather will be like. Also, we give you a couple of tips on what to pack. So to find that, Geraldine, you just have to search on YouTube October weather NZ Pocket Guide, and you should find that video quite easily with our tips. And we also obviously have that on NZ Pocket Guide. So let me just show you. Oh, that's definitely not what I'm supposed to show you, but here you go. Here you go. So on here, Geraldine, you're just gonna click on travel advice and New Zealand month by month, and in there you will have kind of an article for each month in which we recommend like best places to visit. And so here you go. First one is November, and then second one is October. The articles are classed by like how much people like the articles. So yeah, basically they're really popular months. So you've got travel tips for traveling in New Zealand in November, and then in November what you can expect, the event you can expect in New Zealand in November, and the activities which are best in November. and the typical prices that you're expecting to pay in November. So you do have quite a lot of information for you. And if you go back, you can also check that and compare it with October and see which would be best for you. So it's on nzpocketguide.com again, and you click on travel tips, then travel advice, and then New Zealand month by month.
We do have a New Zealand the weather section.
Yeah,
as
we also
well.
have in Essential, you have weather, and you can go in depth into the weather with every regions and everything like that. But I feel like you're more looking into actual travel tips, which
for
might
that
be
specific month.
maybe better. But yeah, that's obviously a plugin for our site, but the site is free, so it's not really a plugin, is it?
Yeah, it's there to help you guys.
Exactly. I hope that's helpful to you, Geraldine. I do love Belgium. You guys have better waffles and better fries than us, and and also better role players than us. Just saying.
Okay.
You guys have really awesome. And better cartoonists than us. You guys nail life. And most people actually think you guys are French, which is not fair. You guys are awesome. Can I get a Belgian passport? Okay. Well,
Donut Boy has many emojis.
There is a lot of emojis. It's cool. Then he says, "Oh my God, thanks for sharing the backstories. You're very welcome. It's not that inspiring. It's just, get bored at home and just decide to do things for yourself." And he says, "Yes, 4 seasons in 1 day is very true." I mean, one thing that people just don't realize is the fact that, yes, New Zealand is kind of, it's a big country and everything like that, but it's also an island. So therefore it has island weather. It's so thin that the weather can pass over, like the oceanic weather can pass over so easily. Like, I mean, there's no point in New Zealand, I think, that you need to drive more than 2.5 hours to go to the coast.
Yeah.
So that is, that kind of gives you an understanding about how wide New Zealand actually is. Like, the longest you need to drive to get to the coast from any point is 2.5 hours. So that tells you, like, it's quite a narrow country with weather always kind of changing and everything. All right, let's conclude that poll. So we had 5 votes. Again, 20% of people says it's 3 out of 4, and 80% of people says 4 out of 4 for fish and chips in New Zealand. So in short, when you come to New Zealand, travel to New Zealand, you make sure to try fish and chips. All right. That's going to be my only poll of the day. I'm not going to play. Otherwise, Clay is going to mock me. And
we don't want to be mocked.
I know. Obviously, I definitely hate being mocked. It's definitely not what we do here. But yeah, so only 1 poll today. So that was cool. And weirdly enough, everything is coming out really,
really slowly.
Delayed. So I don't know if you guys are catching up with us or something, but yeah, tell us if you can
maybe we're having
a
bad internet day today. I mean, we've still got our fingers crossed. Fiber is meant to be coming to the town that we're in very soon.
2 days ago, they were still digging. Literally, like, I can see where they were digging. There's still some ground, turned up over there where they're actually just putting fiber. So we may bring you NZ Pocket Guide in HD quite soon. So
expect some high quality streams coming your way very soon.
Big promises, we're going to be able to fulfill them.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Okay, so what is Nathan?
Nathan is saying you should do more polls in the live stream. We're trying, Nathan. Were you not there last week? We did about 5 different polls in the same live stream, but more polls will probably come up next week. So.
I will actually do a poll every week. I'll come up with something fun. I'll do a poll every single week from now on. It's going to be kind of fun. And we'll see if people have fun with that. Cool. Geraldine says, "You're welcome in Belgium. Merci pour les réponses. Thank you." Here you go. Now we've done all the languages. There's so many languages in Belgium. Yeah, I've been to Belgium many times. I do really enjoy it. I had a lot of friends in Belgium. Really cool place to hang out at. Louvain-la-Neuve is where I was hanging out quite a lot, as well as Brussels. Okay, Clay says, town farthest from the coast in New Zealand.
I don't actually 100% know the answer to that, but I feel compelled to Google it.
I'd say it would be a town like national park, something like that. I'd say. So that's on the Northland by the volcano. I'd say it would be something like that. Like, it would be central Northland, pretty much for sure, because it's kind of like this big shape over there. Yeah.
So the point, which is furthest from the coast, apparently, is the town closest to that point is Cromwell. So
what?
Yeah, that's the quick. I mean, I haven't done in-depth research just now. People only just did a quick search, but That's what I just got there.
Okay, I think we definitely need to do some research into that, because I don't believe that to be true.
I can see it happening. That the
But
bottom.
the Northland is way wider.
No, but the bottom of the South Island, it actually gets quite wide.
Bulbous. Yeah,
So that's like Central Otago.
Give me that map.
Okay.
Give me the map. It annoys me right now. Wait, you're telling me that the town in here will be same distance as the town? Oh yeah, actually that's correct. That would be so I could see Cromwell. Yeah.
I mean, our island drawings are definitely not to scale, but
I can see it actually now. Thinking about it, so that would be Cromwell. That's here, and yeah. Okay, well, listen, we learned something today. Cromwell might be the furthest town from the coast in New Zealand. It's actually a town where you grow amazing fruits.
Yes, they do have a giant sculpture of various fruit items, like an apple and I think a peach and stuff. It's known as like the fruit bowl of New Zealand. That's their sort of, there's a lot of sculptures and things around New Zealand where they're, put up to sort of display what they are the capital of. And for Cromwell, it's sort of like the capital of fruit growing, I guess.
There you go. But that's the fruit basket of New Zealand.
The fruit basket of New Zealand. Because also in Hawke's Bay, in Napier, they kind of say that's the fruit bowl of New Zealand. So there's a little bit of competition there.
Yeah, we should get them to fight.
Yes, with fruit, throwing fruit at each other.
Fruit fight, yeah. Cool. So Clay says it's Cromwell and says, yes, I got you. Finally, I know something you guys did not. Nah. That's funny. But yeah, no, we never pretend to know everything. We always tell you guys when we need to look it up. And there is some stuff we don't know.
But now
still.
we know it. Now we know it. So
would you guys have seen Cromwell as being the furthest down? I mean, I don't know. I really did not picture it in my head. Donut Boy says there are many orchards in Cromwell as well. Yeah, that's true. There's
a lot of vineyards nearby, so you can go there and do. If you're on a working holiday, you can go and do some vineyard work and stuff like that. They're always looking for work.
And Extreme Talota says, "See you guys next week. Have a good day." Yeah, that's basically wrap it up. We are by the end of the live session. So yeah. So quickly, this week on the channel, we're gonna have a few more videos, some travel tips, obviously, some of the look back at New Zealand's biggest gap year, and we are having a video that's coming up on Saturday that I think you guys are gonna dig quite a lot. It's okay. I'm gonna say it's silly. That's an easy way to put it. Just because that's there's no better way to put that one together. Actually, no, it's next week. I was just on Saturday we're going to talk about some travel tips for July. But then next week, on next Saturday, there's going to be something silly, but I'll tell you about that then.
In the next live session.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of, when is our next live session, Robin?
It's next week. I just want to spoil it. Okay. We've been working on a video of the worst travel advice we've ever received, and I think it's going to be quite funny. So, yeah, keep an eye on that one coming up. Anyway, our next live session is next Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. It's always at the same time.
And if you guys want to know what time that is in your time zone, then we do have a handy link in the description below saying when 8 a.m. New Zealand time is in your time zone. So that's always handy. But also, you can always subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell, and you'll get a notification for when we're going to be coming live. So that's always a good way to sort of keep track of when we do these things.
We have Nathan being a bit cheeky. Look what he says.
Stay safe. I'm here till the end.
That's what Anthony usually says.
Anthony usually takes that job, but thanks for Nathan to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, so it looks like Nathan is impersonating Anthony. Anthony, you have to impersonate Nathan. So just as a reminder, he's living in Taupo, and he usually tells us that he has to go work at the local supermarket. And he says, guys, thank you for the live session. I have to go work at the local supermarket. So Anthony, it's your time to shine right now. You can impersonate him by just saying that. So yeah, get him back. And then we have Donut Boy that say, thank you guys for sharing today. Enjoy your first jab tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be really enjoyable. We are looking forward to getting the vaccine, to get things sorted. But I don't know if it's really something that you're supposed to enjoy a lot. But yeah, Anthony Comstock is not playing any game.
I'm sure he's just copy and pasted from Nathan. Yeah. He's like, oh, nice one. Someone's done the work for me. Just copy and paste. Stay safe, but I'm here until the end. Oh, but yeah, I did the but. That's where Anthony is different.
That's the mark of quality. That's the grammar that sets you apart. Anyway, it's all in jest. It's all for fun.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us for an awesome, really enjoyable live session, guys. We're going to talk about a lot of different stuff, and I really enjoyed all the questions. So today we really had a very small amount of people watching, but we had really good quality questions, and that's what we enjoy the best. So, we don't mind when there's a lot of people, but sometimes it just adds a lot of extra kind of questions, really repetitive and everything. But today, there was a really cool discussion. So I just want to point it out. Sometimes, usually I enjoy it. Today I enjoy it even more than the usual. So I just want to point it out. Sometimes if you do like something, you kind of want to say it. So yeah, thank you guys. I did really enjoy this one. That was really cool.
I did too.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. And again, like, subscribe, and put your questions in the comments if you couldn't make it live. Bye-bye.
See you next week.